just now I think in the morning somebody was mentioning about crashing of the system, and those kinds of things will happen. So we have to be aware how to investigate these cases and how to defend the clients in the sense innocent clients. If you are defending, okay, if you are defending the terrorists, I have no, I can't say anything about that. But anyway, even as young advocates, I mean law students, you have to know, at least for your to defend, or you may become prosecutors, you may become judges. Unless you comprehend all these things, how investigation is done in the virtual environment, you can't pass any order at all, you can't conduct the case at all. So that's why it is very, very important. Next please. So these are some of methodologies. One is backtracking method from server to server. I told you, once you know the victim computer, gain unauthorized access into computer and then commit offenses. Otherwise, it can't be. It may be prohibited system, or just even test. They wanted the information about the nuclear program policy of India. So that was somehow they could not succeed, and it ended with the disturbing of the unclassified data. And even if you take the database contains so much information. Maybe it could be general information, it could be financial information, financial data, or it could be any other data. So there, I think this what is that called, one method I have suggested, this clustering method. So whatever you need from the data, so you cluster it, mark it, then you send a letter of rogatory to that country to preserve that particular data and send it. So that will have deemed evidentiary value here, that I will come to later during the course of my presentation. Then of course these are other and forensic methods. Of course, the digital forensics is one area that includes even your SIM forensics and your hard disk forensics and your computer forensics and your internet log forensics. So this internet log, all these digital forensics, if you can study properly, because I don't have time to go through all those, go into those details. So these digital forensics is one area which you have to be aware if you want to investigate the cross-border cyber crimes. Otherwise it is not possible. Next please. Then we have to take certain precautions as investigating officers. You are all sitting here, and you should not resort to overstepping role. What do you mean by overstepping role? You should not go on investigating only the technology. As is, say, technology should be availed as is necessary to investigate a crime. So we should not depend too much of give too much of importance to technology. Technology is necessary. Just you use it. It is only a means. You use it as a means to achieve your end. Then comprehensive seizure. You should not seize everything. Should not disrupt the business activity. After all, what is the purpose of IT Act? It is only UNCITRAL Model Law 1996 on e-commerce that says only this IT law facilitates e-commerce, and also in the meantime prescribes some punishments to those who violate, to commit cyber crimes. So this thing you must understand, and we should not be criticized by the multinational companies or transnational companies, whoever may be, for seizing the entire data and for disrupting their business activity. We must know what to seize. We should not go resort to comprehensive seizure of data. Then resorting to self-incrimination. This is again prohibited under Article 20, subclass 3 of the Constitution of India. We should not implicate anybody. You take it as it is. That's why I have suggested, I have written an article also about that, the transparency in investigation of cyber crimes, about the cyber crimes. So how to achieve transparency? Only by following the investigators, maintaining the chain of custody. Just like you write diary, even in the virtual environment, you have to maintain a diary called investigators chain of custody. You have to record everything. You have to seize everything. You must maintain a master copy which should not be disturbed. Content should not be disturbed, and then it should be preserved properly. Then you have to work on the copy, then send it to the court, whatever you want. That is very, very important. Then you should not meddle with the data. Supposing you don't know how to operate the computer, you should not meddle with the data or destroy, because even the accused persons may be using a hotkey. Just they can erase data. They will just leave the hotkey. So once you try to meddle with the data, then the entire incriminating evidence is lost. Then you should not deviate from the order of volatility. Whatever is volatile, I told you, primary, the data stored in the primary devices, it is all volatile. So first you have to take that and then come to non-volatile area. So that order of volatility you should follow. And I told you, you have to work on the original, you should not work on the original, and should not present, and which system, and it is under whose custody, and how to retrieve it, what softwares I can use, what software is installed in that computer, and how we can search the logical structures of the file system. Logical structures I have just explained in the earlier slides. Then ability to avail reliable forensic tools, licensed. They should be licensed and reliable forensic tools. Like I told you, maybe this Encase or SafeBack, or even there are so many other tools like iTools. So all these things, CyberCheck is there to trace the emails. Yeah, so all these reliable, validated. They should be validated, reliable, and licensed. Otherwise, don't use it. Then ability to avail reliable forensic tools. Okay. Then ability to perform sector by sector and file by file comparison. You have to make comparisons, and ability to reconstruct the scene of crime on the basis of digital footprints. So these digital footprints are very important. You have to understand what exactly the digital footprints mean. This word float search, because the culprit or the cyber offender, perpetrator, he can move from one place to another, because it conducts search. Then physical online search, physical search, then online search. Physical, of course, you are all aware. You have methodologies prescribed for that. You have zonal method, spokes method, spiral method. You can adopt that. Online search, you have to be very cautious. You must have full knowledge about the internet, entire internet, cyberspace. What is cyberspace? What is internet? Unless you understand that, it is not possible to conduct virtual search. Then offsite search, that relates to backup media, then email, e-archiving, then storage devices, etc. I told you standalone PC, for example, storage devices. Then e-archives, whatever is stored in the form of CDs or now latest devices have come, just pen drives, and so many other devices, even in the watches also. Just they can come and plug it and then flick your data. That is also, that also comes under play. That is also an offense for plagiarism, theft of data. Then transborder. This is, I'll come to little later. Online search. Then principles of exclusionary rules. Illegal, it relates to when we resort to illegal search or seizure. Exclusion, this is a matter of admissibility of evidence. It's a matter of evidential weight of data that the court can give to any data which you have seized. Next, please. Issues involved in cross-border investigation. What are these issues? One is richest crime in the world. It is a global crime, ever richest. Even sitting at one place, you need not stir out of the computer printout. Supposing the data is there, if you can take any number of printouts, but still the data remains there. So you have to explain how there is a damage caused or loss caused to the person. That is very, very important. It is intangible data. This is intangible property. You have to, it is not a tangible property. Intangible, like electricity. Theft of electricity, that is also, you can't see it. And what is the quantum of theft? That, when you, you analyze, assess the damage or the loss, here also you have to assess the same kind of damage. Then of course, this I don't want to touch upon, jurisdiction. Dr. Yes, he is a doctor, in fact, de facto. Professor Mohan Ram will deal with that. Then, unfortunately, we don't have extradition regime. We have been trying to get hold of all the fellows, all the fugitive criminals residing in either Pakistan or some other place. Because there is no bilateral or even global extradition regime, we have not been able to get the criminals we want. This is what, and happily Dawood Ibrahim is printing currency, Indian currency, there and circulating through coastal areas. So this is the fate of our country, just to destroy our economy. I'm quoting this with authority. I'm not just bluffing. Then another important aspect, concept is commission rogatory. What is commission rogatory? It is nothing but sending letter of rogatory, letter of request. It is in the international scenario, it is called as letter of rogatory. So that will, once you, it is, once you send a letter to some, so let us say India is sending a letter to Pakistan requesting to, hand over one criminal. And there, the government of Pakistan will analyze that, whether it is politically motivated or not. That has to be seen by the government. And then they must immediately act. And it is also vice versa. That I will just explain in my next slides. Next please. So this pertains to this jurisdiction. Again, Professor Mohan Ram will deal with that. Next, please. Global extradition regime, that I was just explaining. In the absence of global extradition regime, it becomes rather difficult for us to get the bilateral extradition agreements regarding the exchange of fugitive criminals. That is the need of the hour, which is not being some ulterior motives. Next, please. So, to explain about the Commission Rogatory, so this is the investigation, which is, so every investigating officer should make an application to the jurisdictional court first for issue of letter of regarding, for sending the letter of rogatory, and that has to be sent. And 166B, the request from we can say it is vice versa. Any other country can request India to send, to take similar action. Next, what are the next, please? What is the criteria for sending a letter of rogatory? So, here I must be very brief to say that it should be free from political motives, as I told you earlier. And second thing is, specify the nature of evidence. Take for example in Mumbai blast case, we have clearly given the evidence about the what is retrieved from the satellite phone, the conversation that took place between the LET terrorists sitting in Pakistan and giving instructions after viewing the live TV programs, giving them instructions. Oh, police aa raha hai, idhar jao, udhar jao. So all these things are, and there, but unfortunately they try to destroy all these documents there. So fortunately or unfortunately, his father came out. Even these small things will make it really matter. If statement is recorded, then that evidence is it becomes valid in the court of law. For example, I will tell you, I investigated one double murder case. In that double murder case, he said, ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಚರಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮುಂಜಾನೆ ಕೂತಿದ್ದನ್ರಿ ಹೊಲದಲ್ಲಿ. He told, if I say that if I had recorded in my language, the judge, I think Justice Desai, Desai was a session judge then, he would not have appreciated it. That is the language used in that area. Speaking language is used in this area, in this part of the area. Mysore Kannada is different, Bellary Kannada is different, and the Dharwad and Belgaum Kannada is different. I'll tell you one of course small joke. I went to Belgaum as probationer. So there, my SP has asked me to bring a public prosecutor. He gave me a jeep and then sent me. Then I went to his house. His daughter came. Then I asked in my own, but I don't know whether she understood or not, my this thing or not. She said, "Hindagade barri." Then promptly I went round the house. There was no door, nothing. There was no. This is not a thing to be laughed. See, Hindagade means you come later. That is the only translated, understanding the language that they use. So, and one officer has given a charge memo to one PC. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇನ್ ರಾಯಚೂರು, ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ SP ರಾಯಚೂರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತಂದರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಾ ಟ್ರೈನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋಲ್ದು? ಸೊ ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋಲ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ ನನಗೇನೇ ಎದುರು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀಯ ನೀನು. ಸೊ ಈ ಹಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಎ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮೆಮೊ, ರೂಲ್ 7 ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆಮೇಲೆ ದೆನ್ ದಟ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ವರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಡ್. ಐ ವೆಂಟ್ ದೇರ್. ಯಾಕೆ ನೀನು ಈ ಥರ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆಪ್ಪ ನೀನು ಈ ಥರ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲರಿ ಸರ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾಷೆ, ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗವಲ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. So likewise, where is Kasab and where is Kasai? See, that makes lot of, now they have taken the defense in Pakistan, saying that we don't have that surname at all. So all these small things will also count. So my request to all young officers who have come here, they should record in their own language. If they speak in Tulu, they should record as far as possible in Tulu only, especially when you make recovery under 27 Indian Evidence Act. So adu agagutte. So I had to pick up little bit Tulu when I was STPO, subdivision police officer in Puttur subdivision. I started from almost my career from Puttur subdivision. ಸೊ ಹೀಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಅವರ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು, ಅವರ ಕಲ್ಚರನ್ನು, ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು, ಅವರ ಇತರ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆವಾಗ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಪ್ರಮಾದಗಳು ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಆ ಪ್ರಮಾದಗಳನ್ನು ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ ಅದನ್ನು ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯವೂ ಸಹ ಅದನ್ನು ನಂಬುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ತಪ್ಪುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಹೋದರ